Alrighty, everybody, good morning and welcome for another read aloud for Junie B. Jones. Today we are reading Junie B. Jones Has a Monster Under Her Bed. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. You know Junie, she gets a little crazy sometimes. This can only be a little obnoxious. All right, so started. Alrighty, here we go. Chapter 1, The Cheese Man. My name is Junie B. Jones. The B stands for Beatrice, except I don't like Beatrice. I just like B, and that's all. I am in the grade of afternoon kindergarten. Today we got pictures. School pictures is when you wear your bestest dress.
And they told us.
And a cheese man is there. He makes big cheese. Oh, I don't actually know why.
And they did one.
There she is. Okay. Then he takes pictures of you, and your mother has to buy them, or else you'll get your feelings hurt. School pictures is a racket, I think. I wore my new dress with the dinosaur on the front. Huh, a dinosaur, huh? Said the cheese man. I smoothed my skirt very lovely. Yes, I said, it is a Tyrannosaurus dotty. You mean a Tyrannosaurus rex? He said. No, I mean a Tyrannosaurus dotty, because Rex is the boy, and Dottie is the girl, I explained. The cheese man stood behind his camera. Say cheese, he told me. Yeah, only guess what? I don't actually know why I have to say that word, because what's cheese got to do with it? Cheese makes you smile, he said. I shook my head. Not me. Cheese doesn't make me smile, because sometimes I eat a cheese sandwich for lunch, and I don't even giggle when I swallow that thing. The cheese man did a big breath. Could you please just say it, he said. Yes, I said, I can please just say it, only don't forget to tell me when you're ready, because one time my grandpa Frank Miller was taking my picture, and he didn't tell me he was ready. And then one of my eyes turned out open, and the other one turned out closed. I made the face to show him. See my eyes? See how one of them is open and the other is? All of a sudden, the cheese man took my picture. My mouth came wide open at him. Hey, how come you did that? How come you took my picture? Because I wasn't even ready. The cheese man kept on clicking his camera. Pretty soon, he looked at the next person in line. Next, he said. I stamped my foot. Yeah, only I wasn't ready, I tell you, and so I need another turn. Just then, my teacher came over, and she pulled me away from there. She sat me next to her on a bench. Her name is Mrs. She has another name too, but I just like Mrs., and that's all. Mrs. said, settle down to me. Then me and her watched the rest of the children get their pictures taken. My bestest friend named Lucille went next. She had a blue satin ribbon in her hair. My Nana says this ribbon brings out the blue in my eyes, she told the cheese man. She opened them real wide. See them? See their color? They are robin's egg blue with just a hint of lavender. The cheese man sucked in his cheeks. He was frustration in him, I think. Could you please just say cheese? He grouched. Lucille smiled real big with all her teeth. Cheese, she sang out loud. Cheese, 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 cheese. Then she just kept on singing cheese until the cheese man said, knock it off. After she was done, Lucille skipped over to me and Mrs. Did you see me, she asked. Did you see how good I said cheese? That's because I'm going to be a model when I grow up. So I already know this kind of stuff. She fluffed her fluffy hair. The camera is my friend, she said. Mrs. rolled her eyes way up at the ceiling. I looked up there too, but I didn't see anything. After that, it was time for the class picture. The class picture is when all of room 9 lines up in 2 rows. The biggie kids stand in the back, and the shorty kids stand in the front. I am a shorty kid. Only that is nothing to be ashamed of. I stood next to Polly Allen Puffer. He looked very admiring at my dinosaur dress. Dinosaurs bite people's heads off, he said. I did a frown. Yeah, only they don't even scare me, because there's no such thing as dinosaurs anymore, I told him. So, there's still such thing as monsters that can bite your head off, said Polly Allen Puffer. A monster lives right under your bed, I bet. My big brother says that Everybody has a monster under their bed. He poked his finger at me. Even you, Junie B. Jones. I got shivers on my arms. No, I do not either, Polly Allen Puffer. Yes, you do too, he said back. My brother is in 7th grade, and he says the monster waits till you're asleep. Then he crawls up next to you and he lies down on your pillow and he practices fitting your head in his mouth. I covered up my ears, but Polly Allen Puffer talked even louder. I can even prove it, he said. Didn't you ever wake up with a drool spot on your pillow? I thought very hard. Yeah, so? So where do you think it came from? It came from the monster under your bed. That's where. It was monster drool, Junie B. Jones. I shook my head real fast. Nope, no, it was not, Polly Allen Puffer. You stop saying that, and I mean it. He raised up his eyebrows. Well, where did it come from then? You don't drool on your pillow, do you? You're not a baby, are you? No, don't call me that. I am not a baby, I yelled. Polly Allen Puffer crossed his arms. So, where did the drool come from then? I don't know, but my daddy told me there's no such thing as monsters. So what? Daddies have to say that, said Polly Allen Puffer. That's so you'll go to sleep at night and not bother them. He squinted his eyes at me. Why do you think daddies and mommies sleep together in the same room anyway? It's so they can protect each other from the monster, or else their heads might get chewed off. Just then, I wrinkled up my nose at that terrible thought. Then I hanged out my tongue. Ugh, and I did a sick face. Ugh, and guess what? The cheese man took the class picture. Chapter 2, just say right. After school pictures, we went back to room 9. I put my head down on my table. There's no such thing as monsters. There's no such thing as monsters, I whispered just to myself, because my very own daddy told me that, and he wouldn't lie to me. Probably. Mrs. said for me to sit up in my chair. She passed out work for us to do. It was called printing our letters. Only I didn't actually feel like doing that. I tapped on my bestest friend, Lucille. Guess what, Lucille? There's no such thing as monsters. There's really, really not. And so a monster doesn't even live under my bed, probably. Right, Lucille? Right? Right? Shh, I'm doing my letters, she said. Yes, Lucille, I know you are doing your letters. Only I just wanted to tell you about the monster because he's not even real. Right? Lucille didn't say right. How come you're not saying right, Lucille? Just say right, okay? Just say monsters aren't real and I won't even bother you anymore. All of a sudden, Lucille did a mad breath. Now look what you made me do, Junie B. You made me ruin my big G. I told you not to bother me. She quick grabbed her paper and runned it to Mrs. to fix it. Tapped my fingers on my table. Then I turned around and looked behind me. I smiled at a boy named Crybaby William. Guess what, William? There's no such thing as monsters, and so a monster doesn't even live under my bed, probably. Right, William? Right? William moved a seat away from me. I followed him in my chair. I'm right, don't you think, William? A monster really doesn't live under my bed, does he? Plus also, he doesn't put my head in his mouth. William slided his chair away some more. I scooted after him. Just say right, okay, William? Just say there's not a monster under my bed and I will be on my way. William picked up his chair. He carried it all the way to the middle of the floor. Junie B, just bothering everybody. That's how come I had to carry my chair to the middle of the floor too. I sat down and smiled, very sweet. Right, William? I'm right, aren't I? Only too bad for me, because just then I felt hands on my shoulders. I looked up. It was Mrs. I did a gulp. Hello, how are you today? I said, kind of nervous. Mrs. zoomed my chair back to my table. It was not fun. I quick picked up my pencil. Guess what? I am going to do my work now. Plus, also, I am not even going to talk because I don't actually like anyone in this area. Mrs. tapped her foot at me. Love your shoes, I said real soft. Her foot kept tapping. Only just then, a very great thing happened, and it is called the bell rang for the end of school. I hurried up out the door. Then me and my other bestest friend named Grace run to the bus together. Grace, guess what? You know, there's no such thing as monsters, and so I don't even have one under my bed probably. Right, Grace? Right? That Grace didn't say right. That's how come I grabbed her by her shoulders and I jiggled and jiggled her, because I was fed up with these people, that's why. How come you won't say right, Grace? How come nobody will say right? Because I'm getting at the end of my rope with this thing. That Grace took my hands off of her. I can't say right because a monster really might live under your bed, Junie B. My eyes got big and wide at her. No, Grace, don't you say that. Do not say a monster might live under my bed, because that cannot even be true, or else I would have spotted that guy by now. No, you wouldn't, she said. My big sister says that monsters can turn themselves invisible when you look at them, and so that's how come nobody ever sees them. That Grace looked serious at me. That makes sense, don't you think, Junie B? Right? Just then, my throat got dry and my stomach got the shakies. I looked out the window very upset. I didn't say right. Chapter 3, The Invisiblest Guy. I ran in my house and hollered for my grandma, Helen Miller. Grandma Miller! Grandma Helen Miller, I'm so glad to be home because today was not a very good day at my school. Grandma Miller was in the kitchen. She was holding my baby brother named Ollie. I jumped up and down in front of her. Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. Can't right now, Toots, she said. I've got my hands full with Ollie. Yeah, only put him on the floor because I need a hug down here, Helen. Grandma Miller leaned down and hugged me. She said, don't call her Helen. Why don't you go change your clothes? Then you and I will make some popcorn and you can tell me all about your day. How does that sound? Just then my whole face got happy because popcorn is my most favorite thing in the whole wide world. Hooray! I shouted, hooray for popcorn. I ran to my room. Then I took off my shoes and socks and my feet did a happy dance on the floor. It was called the Happy Feet Popcorn Dance. They danced around and around. Also, they jumped on my bed and they sprang to the floor and they did a giant twirly on my rug. I clapped my hands real joyful. Grandma, hey Grandma, guess what? I am having a good time in here, and so I am not even thinking about the monster under my bed. Just then, I did a gulp. Because I shouldn't have said that, I think. I looked at my bed kind of nervous. What if there was a monster under there right this very minute? And what if he was looking at my piggy toes? And what if he wanted to eat them? Oh no, I said, oh no, because piggy toes look just like little wiener sausages, I think. I freezed right where I was standing. Grandma Miller, come quick, I need you. Grandma Miller flied to my room. Then she picked me up and she hugged me real tight. What on earth is the trouble, she said. She sat down with me on my bed. No, Grandma, no, we cannot sit here. I squeezed out of her arms and ran out my door. There's a monster under my bed, I yelled. I jumped up and down. Run, Helen, run like the wind. Only Grandma Helen Miller didn't run. She just flopped back on my covers and she closed her eyes. No, Junie B, no, please. We're not going through this monster business again, are we? We've talked about monsters before, remember? We decided that there are no such thing as monsters. Yes, but I have new information because the monster under my bed turns himself invisible whenever we look at him. Plus at night, after my eyes are closed, he climbs up next to me and he puts my head in his mouth. Grandma Miller did a big breath. Then she went to the kitchen. She brought back my daddy's flashlight. She shined it under my bed. Nope, no monster, Junie B, none. I don't see one single monster under this bed. See, I said that proves it, Grandma. He turned himself invisible. Grandma Miller shook her head. Nope, Junie B, the monster did not turn himself invisible. The monster is simply not there. He does not exist, period. Yes, he does, Grandma. He does too exist because Polly-on Puffer's big brother even said so. Plus also I've seen the drool. Grandma Miller said to calm my voice. She got me a drink of water. Why don't we forget about the monster for now and we'll go make popcorn. You can talk to your mother about this when she gets home. I bet Mother will know exactly what to do. I thought and thought. What, Grandma? What will she do? Then all of a sudden a light bulb went on in my head. Hey, I know what she'll do. Mother will get the broom and she'll bash the monster's head in, because I saw her do that to a roach before, and she is excellent at it. Grandma Miller closed her eyes again. She said that I am a strange one. Chapter 4, spooky and scary. Pretty soon, Mother came home from work. I zoomed to her speedy quick and I handed her the broom. Mother, come on, let's go, let's get the monster. Mother turned her head real slow and she looked at Grandma Miller. Grandma sucked in her cheeks. A monster, she said kind of quiet, under the bed. We've been waiting for you to come home so you can bash its head in. I tugged on her sweater. Plus, tell her about the drool, Grandma. But Grandma Miller headed to the door and she said the words, I'm out of here. I pulled on Mother's arm. Come on, Mother. The monster's really real because Polly-O and Puffer told me everybody has a monster under their bed. Plus, that Grace said it can turn invisible. And so that is how come we never saw that guy before. Mother sat down at the table and she lifted me onto her lap. Then she said that Polly-O and Puffer was just trying to scare me. Plus, that Grace didn't even know what she was talking about. There is no monster under your bed. I promise you, Junie B, monsters are not real. Yes, they are. They are too real because Polly-O and Puffer's, his brother even said so. And he is in 7th grade. And he said monsters crawl on your bed and they fit your head in their mouth. And so that is where the drool comes from because I am not even a baby. Just then I heard the front door open. It was my daddy. He was home from work too. Daddy, there's a monster under my bed. Only you said monsters aren't real, but they really, really are. I pulled on his arm. Come on, Daddy, let's go get him. Daddy looked at Mother a real long time. They went in the hall and did some whispering. Pretty soon, Daddy came back to me. He said we would look for the monster after dinner, but first we would cook some hamburgers on the grill. Oh boy, because hamburgers are my most favorite things in the whole wide world. Plus, also, I like biscotti and meatballs. After that, me and Daddy went outside. He got a flipper for the hamburgers. Then he gave me one too, because I am old enough, that's why. I run all over that thing. I flipped a rock and a flower and a dirt ball. Plus also I flipped a dead lizard I found in the driveway. Then Mother took my flipper away because I am not old enough, that's why. After dinner, I took my bath. Then Mother and Daddy read me a story and they hugged me goodnight. See you in the morning, said Mother. See you in the morning, said Daddy. I sat up in bed. Yeah, only I can't even sleep in here because you guys didn't even bash that monster yet. Daddy rubbed his tired eyes. There's no monster, Junie B. There is nothing to be afraid of. Then he kissed me and he went out of my room and Mother went with him. I quick got out of bed and followed those two. They turned around and spotted me. Hello, how are you today? I said, very pleasant. I am going to sit in the kitchen and not bother anyone. Plus also I might watch Eyewitness News at 10. Mother carried me back to bed. I followed her out again. Do you want to bake a lemon pie? A lemon pie would be fun, don't you think? This time, Mother marched me back to my room real fast. Do not get up again, Junie B. Enough is enough. I waited for her feet to walk away. Then I tippy-toed to my baby brother's room and I climbed into his crib. It was very crowded in there. That's how come I had to get out and put baby Ollie on the floor. Then I climbed in his crib again and I pulled up the blanket all warm and cozy. Only too bad for me, because just then, that crybaby started to scream. Daddy runned into the room speedy quick. Then he turned on the light and saw me. I did a gulp. Hello, how are you today? I said. I am all warm and cozy in here. Daddy quick swished me out of there. Then he put baby Ollie back in the crib and he took me to my bed again. Okay, that's it, he crouched. This is the last time I want to have to come in here. Do you understand, Missy? Do not get out of this bed one more time. I started to cry a teeny bit. Yeah, only what about the monster? I said, because he is still under my bed, I think. Daddy throwed his hands in the air. Then he turned on my light and he looked for the monster all over the place. First, he looked under my bed. Then he looked in my closet and in my drawers and in my trash can. Plus also, he looked in my crayon box. Poor Daddy. Junie B. Jones is just being a little crazy about this. No monster, Junie B. No monster anywhere. You're going to have to believe me. Monsters are not real. He sat down on my bed. I'm going to go now. I'm going to leave your door open and I'm going to leave the hall light on. But this is it, okay? You have to trust me. Junie B, there is no monster under your bed. I holded onto his shirt. Yeah, only tuck in my sheets, okay? Tuck them in real tight or else my feet might hang over the side. And piggy toes, they look like little wiener sausages. Daddy tucked in my sheets. There, now, good night. Yeah, only get my teddy, okay, Daddy? Let's also get my Raggedy Ann named Larry, and get my stuffed elephant named Philip Johnny Bob. Daddy got all of those guys for me. He tucked them in my bed. There, that's it, he said. Now, good night, he said. He walked right out of my room and kept on going down the hall. It was spooky and scary in there. Philip Johnny Bob wants a drink of water, I shouted out real loud. I waited and waited. Yeah, only he really, really needs one on account of he's having a problem with his trunk. Daddy didn't come. Raggedy Ruth needs a Kleenex, I yelled next. After that, my voice got quieter. Raggedy Andy needs a cookie? But Daddy still didn't come. Chapter 5, my worstest night ever. It was my worstest night ever. I didn't sleep any winks. That's because I had to keep my eyes open or else the monster would stay invisible. I heard Mother and Daddy go to bed. Good night, everybody. Good night. It's me, Junie B. Jones. I'm still awake in here because I can't even close my eyes or else the monster will come. Mother and Daddy didn't yell back. Plus, here's another thing I need to tell you. Don't turn out the hall light, and don't shut my door either. Please don't shut your door either. Door asleep, Mother grouched. I smiled, very relieved. It was good to hear your voice, I said. After that, Mother and Daddy got into bed and they turned out their light. Daddy started to snore. Oh no, now he won't even be awake to save me if the monster comes. I pulled Philip Johnny Bob out of my covers. I will save you, he said. I will squirt water from the monster's face. Plus, I will stopple him with my giant elephant feet. And so now you can close your eyes and you don't even have to worry about that guy. I looked at him. Yeah, only here's the problem. You're not actually strong because you just have fluffy in you. Plus, also, you really can't squirt water, and so who am I kidding here? Philip Johnny Bob stared at me a real long time. Then he went back under my covers. All of a sudden, I heard feet in the hall. It was monster feet, I think. They kept on getting closer and closer to me. Then, pretty soon, they run right into my room. And guess what? It was my dog, Tickle, that's what. Tickle, I'm so glad to see you because now you can protect me from the monster, and so why didn't I think of this before? I pulled back my covers and patted for him to jump up. Here, Tickle, you can sleep right on my pillow because Mother won't even find out about this. Tickle springed right up there and he runned all around my bed. He put his head under my sheets and run down to my feet. No, Tickle, no. You have to come back up here or else how will you even protect me? I pulled him back up. He put his paws on Raggedy Larry and chewed his red hair. No, Tickle, no. Just then, Tickle springed over me and he landed on my elephant named Philip Johnny Bob. He held him by his trunk and shook that guy all around. I saved Philip Johnny Bob just in time. Then I pushed Tickle off my bed and I runned out of my room. Philip Johnny Bob was very upset. I petted his trunk. Also, I hugged Raggedy Larry. Only too bad for me, because just then Raggedy Ruth fell right off my bed, and on account of the dumb sheets weren't tucked in anymore. Me and Raggedy Larry peeked over the side at her. Get her, said Raggedy Larry. Yeah, only I can't get her, or else the monster will grab my hand and pull me right under the bed. I thought about what to do. Then all of a sudden, I picked up all my friends in my arms. We're going to have to make a run for it. We're going to have to go sleep with Mother and Daddy because we will be safe with them. Plus, also, they won't even know we're there because their bed is the size of a king. I stood on the side of my bed. Then I grabbed my friends and I jumped way out to the middle of the floor. And I quick picked up Raggedy Ruth. And then I ran to Mother and Daddy's room. They were sleeping and snoring. Shh, I said to Raggedy Larry. Shh, I said to Philip Johnny Bob. Then all of us crawled down the middle of their bed and we sneaked under their covers. Only too bad for me, because Mother rolled right over on top of Philip Johnny Bob's trunk, and it waked her right up. She turned on the light. I did a gulp. Hello, how are you today? Me and my friends are sleeping here because we didn't think you'd mind, probably. Mother carried me back to my room zippity quick. Then she leaned close to my ear and she talked very scary with her teeth closed. Do not get out of bed one more time. And so guess what? I didn't. Chapter 6, Flatsos. The next day at school, I was pooped and tired. I opened one eye with my fingers and I drawed a picture for art. It did not turn out that professional. After that, I held it up my head with my hands and I waited for school to be over. Me and that Grace rode home on the bus together. I yawned and yawned. Darn it, Grace. I wish you never even told me that monsters can't turn invisible, because now I can't even close my eyes at night. Oh, I can, said that Grace. That's because I don't have a monster under my bed anymore. My mom figured out how to get rid of it. My eyes got big and wide. How, Grace? How did she do that? Oh, it was easy, said Grace. First, she sucked it up in the vacuum cleaner. Then she put the vacuum cleaner bag in the trash compactor, and she squished the monster into a flatso. Just then, I hugged and hugged that girl, because that was brilliant, of course. Thank you, Grace, thank you, because I have a vacuum cleaner right in my very own home, and so I can do that too, probably. After that, I got off my bus and I zoomed my house speedy fast. Grandma Miller, I know how to get rid of the monster. Then I run to the closet and I got Mother's vacuum cleaner and I pulled that big thing all the way to my room. Grandma Miller came to my door. I told her all about how to get rid of the monster, and so guess what? She was a good sport about it. First, she plugged the vacuum cleaner right into my wall. Then she put it under my bed and she sucked the monster right out of there. Hooray, hooray, you got him, you got the monster, Grandma, I yelled real thrilled. Grandma Miller ran with the bag to the kitchen and she throwed it in the trash can. There, that'll do the trick, she said, very happy. I looked at the trash. Then I did a teeny frown. Yeah, only here's the problem, Grandma. You didn't actually put the bag in the trash compactor, and that is what turns the monster into a flatso. Grandma Miller smiled. Yes, but this house doesn't have a trash compactor, Junie. Our monster will just have to stay in the vacuum cleaner bag. My frown got bigger and bigger. Yeah, but what if he leaks out, Grandma? Then maybe he might float in the air and all the way back to my room and he will get under my bed again. Grandma Miller tapped on the counter with her fingers. Then her cheeks filled up with air and she let it out real slow. Okay, how about this? What if I take it outside? I'll take the bag outside and I'll push it way down in the big garbage. And then I'll press the lid down really tight so he can't get out. Yeah, but he still won't be a flatso, I said real whining. Just then, Grandma Miller got frustration in her. She grabbed the vacuum cleaner and ran outside. Then she put it in the driveway and she got in her car and she backed over that thing with her tires. Pretty soon she came back in the house. She brushed her hands together. There, now he's a flatso, she said kind of growly. After she left, I got on the couch and I stared very nervous at the driveway. Because guess why? A car is not a trash compactor, that's why. It's pretty close though, right? It's pretty close. Chapter 7, Snarlies and Snufflies. That night, I heard snarlies under my bed. Mother said it was my imagination. No, it is not my imagination, I said. I can hear snarlies, but also I hear snorries and snufflies and droolies. Mother rolled her eyes way up at the ceiling. Honestly, Junie B., where in the world do you get this stuff? I thought and thought. It just automatically comes in my head. It's a gift, I think. After that, I begged to sleep in her bed, but Mother said no. Then Daddy said no too. You're just gonna have to trust us, Junie B., said Daddy. We would never let anything hurt you. There's nothing in your room to be afraid of. And so that's how come I had to sleep in my own bed for the whole entire night. Also, I had to sleep there the next night, and the next night, and the next night after that too. That was when the worst thing of all happened. Because I accidentally slept too much, and the monster must have crawled on my bed, because in the morning, there was drool on my pillow. I screamed very loud when I felt it. Help! Help! There's drool! There's drool! I told you this would happen! I told you the monster would come! I ran in Mother and Daddy's room. I showed them the pillow. Mother holded her head. When is this ever going to end? She said. When are you ever going to realize that there are no such thing as monsters? She didn't wait for me to answer.
Call the mosquitoes.
Everyone drools on their pillows sometimes. It doesn't mean you're a baby. Your mouth just opens up when you sleep a little bit. It's no big deal, and it's not from monsters. After that, she went out of her room into the kitchen, and Daddy went to get Ollie. I crawled into her bed and counted my kitty toes. Good news, there were still 10. That day, kindergarten.
Groceries went every day,
It was
but not at school.
back from the cheese van. Just had them out to us. Still got hers first.
That's so long.
Lucille, look how gorgeous they are. They are the gorgeous pictures I ever saw. Lucille fluffed her fluffy dress. Oh, I know it. I know they are gorgeous. That's just how I look, Junie B. I can't even help it. After that, Lucille stood up at the table, and she held up her pictures for everyone to see. Mrs. said, sit down to her. Just then, Mrs. bended down next to me, and she smoothed my hair. Junie B, honey, you might want to have your pictures taken again, she said kind of quiet. Then she handed me my envelope real secret so nobody could see. I sneaked a peek at those things. My stomach felt sickish inside. I looked like I smelled stink, I said. I quick tried to hide the pictures, but Lucille grabbed them away from me. Ew, gross, she said. Junie B looks gross. I tried to grab them back. Not nice of Lucille. It's not nice at all. Yeah, only these are none of your beeswax, madam, I yelled very mad. Only too bad for me, because lots of other kids already saw them, and they laughed and laughed at those things. Finally, I grabbed the pictures back and I hid them in my coat. I didn't talk to room 9 for the whole rest of the day. Chapter 8, Scary Face Me. After I got home from school, I sat in my bed and I looked at my pictures. Oh, I hate these dumb, ugly things. These are the dumb pictures I ever saw. I leaned over the edge and held the picture down there. See this? See this, you stupid monster? This picture is just as scary as you, and so maybe I might put it right under my bed and it'll scare your whole entire pants off. Just then, I sat up very straight, because that might be just a really good idea. I just on my scissors. Then I cut my school pictures apart from each other, and I shoved them right under my bed. Huh, I am not even afraid of you, you dumb monster, because these ugly pictures can bite your head off. Just then I heard Mother come home from work. Mother, my pictures came, my pictures came. She hurried up to my room. I pointed under my bed. See them, Mother? See my pictures? I spread them out all under there. Mother looked furious at me. She bended down and picked up a picture. Her mouth did a gasp. Oh my, she whispered. I clapped and clapped. Oh, I know they are oh my. That is why I put them in my bed. Why my scary face will be down there all the time. And so that monster already got scared away, I bet. All of a sudden, Mother started to laugh. And I started to laugh too. Plus, here's another happy thing. Because this morning, there was no more drool on my pillow. Only I am not that worried. Because even if there was, it was probably from Raggedy Ruth, I bet. Or else maybe if it was there, it could have been from Philip Johnny Bob. Or maybe it could have even been me. But that does not mean a big deal. Because everybody drools on their pillows sometimes. My own mother even told me that. And she would not even lie to me. Probably. All right, that is the end. Junie B. No monsters. Worked out just fine for her. She's so silly. Thank you to Barbara Park for writing such a funny story.